Here's what you need to do after you receive your matric results. Hi, my name is Itumeleng Sekgona, the founder of the South African Learner Support Organization, as we call it SALSO. So today's video is all about sharing information on what you can do after you receive your results on the 19th of January. Good luck, by the way. And this video is not only for those that were in Matric 2023, but anyone who has completed Matric and doesn't know what to do next. So firstly, we'll talk about those that applied in 2023. So you applied in 2023 and you either received a rejection on the spot or you got a letter saying that you have been conditionally accepted or provisionally accepted. And you want to know what you will do next once you receive your matric results. It might happen that you have passed well and you qualify for all of the courses that you chose. And in other instances, your first choice was your backup, your second choice was what you wanted to do. So you're not forced to go for the first choice if you have been accepted for both choices. But if that one choice you have been accepted for and the other you are not accepted for, you have to opt out for that one choice that you've been accepted for, and you need to consider registrations. So already universities have sent out communication that you are now supposed to register. Once you get that communication, you have to follow the links that have been provided to register. You don't need to go on campus, everything is done online. You don't have to go for walk-ins. Other communications tell you that they don't allow people to come on campus. So you need to make sure that you have data. You need to make sure that you have a laptop, because sometimes phones can be problematic when registering. Make sure that you choose the correct courses and programs that you need to register for. And after you've been accepted into university, it doesn't automatically mean that you've been accepted into a residential area in that campus. So you need to make sure that you've been accepted for res, and if you are not accepted, you need to consider off-campus accommodation, because we've seen a lot of young people moving from Gauteng to Limpopo or Northwest thinking that they've got a res space, and when they get there, they don't have a room, they don't have a place to stay, and they have to go back home. So you need to make sure that you avoid that. Make sure that you have been accepted into res. So these terms are quite tricky. When we talk about res, we're talking about residents inside the campus. Campus meaning inside the university premises. But when you talk about off-campus accommodation, you're talking about accommodation outside of the university. So you need to make sure that you know all of that. Don't pick up your bags and go to university without making sure that you've been accepted into res, and make sure you get information about where you can get off-campus accommodation. I would advise that you get accommodation that is closer to your campus, meaning university, and it is a walkable distance. If you get off-campus accommodation that is quite far from the university, make sure that it has its own transportation to take you from the accommodation to your campus. If you have applied for NSFAS, make sure that you get NSFAS accredited accommodation for those that will be applying for off-campus accommodation. If you have applied for res within the campus, then it is automatically accredited by NSFAS. But if you're going to pay out of your pocket, you don't need to look for NSFAS accredited accommodations. The next situation is if you have passed your matric but your results are not good enough for university entry. You can look at other options such as upgrading your marks. So when you upgrade your marks, you don't need to go back to the school that you were studying at for matric. You need to look for ABET, ABET, or IET, AET schools, which is Adult Basic Education and Training, or Adult Education and Training schools. So you can go to those schools to upgrade your results, and while upgrading your results, you need to look at these points. So you applied to university, you didn't get acceptance, your marks are not good enough, you can say that, or your APS is lower. So while choosing the subjects you're going to upgrade for, you need to consider your APS. So let's say maths and physics is not good for the course that you wanted to apply for, you need to upgrade maths and physics because that is required for the course that you want to apply for. And also you need to consider how many percentage you get, because we need to be realistic. So let's say I'm going to upgrade my maths and physics, I got 30%, and I'm telling myself that I will achieve 50%, but your APS still does not balance. You need to add other subjects. So you need to consider that whatever subjects you choose, you need to make sure that your APS will balance at the end of the day. If you want to know how to calculate your APS, there's a link provided here, and you'll find a video uploaded about how to calculate your APS. And if you're still confused on what to do after you've been disappointed by your marks, you can still upgrade your marks while doing something else on the side. And lucky enough for Celso, we have partnered with ALX, and they offer programs that are in the tech space, which you can go into. You don't need to have matric, you don't need to have maths and physics. They don't look at your marks, so they will be providing programs that can help you upskill. So these are the programs: software engineering, data analytics, Salesforce administrator, data science, back-end web development, and front-end web development. You can go into their website to check out what you need to do to go into their programs. These programs are sponsored by MasterCard. You pay an administration fee and MasterCard will pay the rest. And these are short courses. You can also find the link in our description, and make sure to ask questions if you don't understand. You can also consider going to TVET colleges. TVET colleges are good because they are more hands-on and they develop your skills. So go and look into TVET colleges in your communities. TVET colleges have their own requirements and processes. So as also we cannot help you to apply for them, but you need to go there directly to find out more information. You can also look into private colleges if you have the money to pay for your studies. And if you receive your results and you find that you didn't make it, you didn't pass your matric, please don't feel like it's the end of the world, because there are other things you can do. There are other options you can look at. Firstly, you can redo your matric. You don't have to go to the school that you went to for matric. You can go to ABET centers or AAT centers and you can redo your matric again. You will make it. If you dedicate, if you put the time, you can pass your matric again. And you can also look into TVET colleges. Like I've mentioned before, you go to your local TVET colleges to find out more information. And you can also look into ALX. Like I mentioned before, you don't need to have passed your matric. You don't need maths, you don't need science to go into ALX programs. And also, there's nothing wrong with finding a piece job there and there so that you can keep yourself busy while you're busy redoing your matric. So I would recommend that you join ALX and look into one of the programs that they offer. Instead of being at home doing nothing, it will help you to upskill, and they will also help you to be business minded and become an entrepreneur. Even if you don't get a job, you can still create a job for yourself. If you didn't apply in 2023 for university or college and you received your marks and your marks are good, this doesn't guarantee that you'll get placement into university when you look into late applications. And please do not cause long lines and queues in universities. They don't allow walk-ins. Everything is done online. You can look for late applications in any university that you wish to go for. And again, it doesn't guarantee you that you will get accepted. But this doesn't mean that you have to stay at home and do nothing. You can also look into TVET colleges. You can look into private colleges if you think or you feel or you know you'll pay for yourselves. And you can also look into ALX. So make sure that you don't stay at home doing nothing. You can go and look for a job also if you want to. While you're busy looking for off-campus accommodation, Make sure that you have some money put aside for deposit, because other off-campus accommodations will need a deposit in order for you to secure a space. So with anything that you do, make sure that you have the funds for data, make sure that you have the funds for accommodation, make sure that you have money to travel up and down to go look for accommodation. If you don't know the places where you are applying to, where your university is, I'd suggest that you go there directly and find out from the university so that they will point you to the right accommodations that you can go to, or you can send an email to the campus and ask off-campus accommodation list, NSFAS accredited list. If you're going to be paying for yourself, you can just ask people to help you that side. Make sure that you stay away from social media, paying people to look for accommodation for you, or paying a deposit to someone you don't know. You need to make sure you invest money in your education, because you need to make sure that everything goes accordingly and you don't fall victim to scammers out there. So to those that didn't get university entry for 2024, do not despair. Let's try again for 2025. University applications are opening the 1st of April. So all universities will open 1st April for undergraduate programs. So let's make sure we correctly calculate our APS and we are more realistic about our course choices. When you consider your choice of course in university, TVET college or private colleges, make sure you do your research and look at the jobs that are in demand in South Africa or the skills that are in demand in South Africa, so that you may have a better chance of getting employment after your degree or diploma, and ensure that you do something that is in line with your interests. From me to you, please do not feel discouraged or despaired when things don't go your way. You will reach your dreams no matter what. Make sure that you work hard, make sure that you ask questions, make sure that you get people that can steer you in the right direction to what you want to do. Ask questions in our social media, inbox us. We are here to help you in terms of career guidance. Make sure to like, to subscribe, and to comment.